Hi, I'm Natasha D'Souza, and I'm here to tell you how I'm going to change the life of children with autism, their families, and their caregivers so that they can become fully functional members of society. So I have a master's in engineering, and I've worked in industry for over 15 years. And I've done everything from development to business coding to sales, and I've run my own successful consulting company. So why change the course of what I do? I was having a lot of challenges with my son and navigating the healthcare system, the school boards, therapies, taught me a few interesting things that I'm going to share with you. Darwin said that the fundamental way we communicate is through the interpretation of facial expressions. Research tells me some really fantastic things, that children with autism spectrum disorder, ADHD, Asperger's syndrome, and in some cases traumatic brain injury, have challenges interpreting facial expressions. However, it also tells me that we can teach this to them. Certain aspects of empathy can be taught. If these social skills programs are offered within the school system and reinforced by the parents, success rate is very high. It also tells me that you can use technology to do these kinds of things, video modeling, multi-touch screens, and if technology is used, the child has to have access to this at home. When I go to the support groups, I hear parents share their stories, and they talk about how the teachers tell their kids that they're bad. They're smirking at me when I'm angry, but the parent knows that this kid doesn't understand angry faces. They talk about how in the teen years they don't fit in and they're prone to substance abuse, and parents say, oh, we're so lucky our kids didn't get into the hard drugs. Or you talk to family members of 40-year-old people who are either on welfare living at home, and they go, my brother is really intelligent, but I don't understand what's going on here. So I look at this research, and as a parent trying to get services, it scares me. It really scares me, the path that my child now has to take. And the options available are through government services. There's probably a 2 to 3 year wait. ABA therapy, which is one-on-one, and you could spend up to $70,000 a year on that kind of stuff. But you almost, as a parent, have to become the therapist to implement those programs at home. I can put my kid in social skills programs outside of the school. So it can be a camp, it could be groups. Again, there's no parent involvement, so I cannot reinforce, I cannot do anything at home. So there is a huge gap between what the research says and the existing services today. So my goal is to change this gap. And what I want to do is change it and change the ratios of therapists, one therapist to one child. So in 3 weeks, I'm going to be launching the first version of this product. And the primary goal is to connect parents with school, with therapists. And what it is simply a framework. 12 steps to friendship. I'm going to launch the first step. And it's based on a pre-testing, learning modules, post-testing, and real-time data and analysis. So what I want to do is make this available to parents, therapists, to schools, so everybody understands how this child is communicating socially. What I'm looking for from the OBI is to have access to a research network that's going to do clinical trials, that's going to look at this and say, okay, you know what, this is what the research says today. How can we take that research to the next level? How can we come up with a social skills program that can be easily accessible to everybody, especially within the school system? Because today we have a lot of knowledge around, by the time a child is 5, they're supposed to be reading at this level, their math skills are at this level. So what I really want to do is come up with a framework or a system where we can say, by the time our kids at this age, this is how they're communicating socially, and provide the tools. So by doing this, we're going to change the ratios of one therapist to one child to many to one. And that one-on-one attention is going to be at a very different level. It's going to be, look, we have this data, we understand how you communicate. Now in our therapy session, let's focus on what we can do. So, thank you.